Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday after Thanksgiving. I hope everybody in the US had an absolutely fabulous Thanksgiving time where you were able to join friends, family, loved ones, and celebrate the thanks that we have to give for just waking up and breathing on this big, beautiful planet that we all have the privilege of living on. As you know, I am Catherine Nunez. I'm the host of The Art of Inspired Selling, where I bring on successful B2B service based entrepreneurs that can tell you about what they're doing. And they don't just come on for regular talk, they come on to give you a teachable moment so that they can help you. You might be stuck, you might be looking for something to have an edge. And these people will help you not just survive, but thrive in this world. So I'm super happy as well. Today, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit. As you know, I've been doing LinkedIn profiles and celebrating with my clients the S Cube methodology of lead generation and getting visible online. And on Black Friday, I launched a LinkedIn Sales Navigator group training program that I'd love to tell you guys about. At the end, I'll drop the link for that. But today, it's not about me. Today, it's about my next guest, who is Telma Sanchez. And she is a bilingual life coach and a high performance coach. And her target market is helping busy working parents maximize their time so they can feel productive and energized to enjoy their desired lifestyle. She specializes in time management, self reflection, and accountability. And so today we're going to talk to you about goal setting. And Thelma is going to give you 3 different types of ways you can actually set your goals, hold yourself accountable, and use time management to help with that. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my next guest. Thelma,
Hi.
hello.
Hi,
Let's
hi.
see. I have these new graphics. Let's make sure we have the right one. There we go. Yes, welcome. Welcome. And you're from my home state, which is Arizona. Tell me about which town are you in Arizona?
I am residing in Tempe, Arizona, and we love it
Yep.
because it's super central to everything.
Yes, I spent most of my life in Arizona, and I was in 85284, like on
Okay, super
rural in
close.
LA. Yeah, before I moved over to San Diego 10 years ago. I've been here now. So it happens so fast. I can't even believe it. I'm just amazed. I'm super happy to be in San Diego though, but my family, friends, everyone's in Arizona and we'll be over there for the holidays. So maybe you and I can
Oh,
have a
yeah.
cocktail while I'm there.
And
Super
I
fun.
really try to sneak into San Diego as often as I can too. So
Yes. I won't even go to Arizona until now.
yeah, true. Yeah,
In
that's
November, when
valid.
November hits, I'll come over. But other than that, I'll go up until maybe June 15th. But always remember living there from June 15th to about November 15th. It was off
No
limits
go.
for
Yeah,
me, for
that's
sure.
those are exactly the time frames that you're gonna find me in San Diego or anywhere else, but not
Yeah,
here.
yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit about you. Where have you been? Your educational background. Tell me a little bit about you so the audience can get to know you a little bit.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, I am bilingual because I was actually born and raised in Mexico City. Beautiful, different country and world on its own. I moved into the States when I was 14 and I didn't really speak any English whatsoever. I thought that my dad was joking when he said that we were moving. I thought it was one of those terrible jokes, but he wasn't. And we moved to Boston for a few years in where I went to a bilingual high school and I instead of learning English, I decided to learn all the accents of the people that live there, like Colombians, Dominicans, all the
Oh,
everything but. Yeah, so my parents noticed and we moved. It was too cold for us as well because Boston is pretty drastic, so we moved to the exact opposite, which is where we ended in Arizona. And here I did go to a tiny shattered little school that was super cliquey and tiny. And there I really had to learn English because there was nobody that spoke Spanish. But maybe the exchange students. So I had to learn English because I had to go to college and I went to U of A. I graduated with a business administration and Spanish legal and medical translation degree. And I started my career in banking. So for my whole life, well, I was a caregiver in college. I had to work full time in order to pay up for school. So
Hmm.
I was a caregiver. I worked for the pretrial services to learn the linguistics world of it. And then I moved to the banking world where I have been for the last 15 years.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. So I'm a Sun Devil.
Okay. Well, I
I
am a
said
UVA one.
I know, watch out. But anyway, Arizona is a great state to grow up in, and one of my kids was actually born there. So let's talk. So today you're helping parents with time management, and tell me a little bit about what got you into working with parents. I love, first of all, I want to congratulate you for picking that niche, right? Because people like to say, "Oh, who do you work with?" I can work with anyone. I can work with anything. I'm Congratulations for
I,
having that
I
specific niche. Yay.
thank you.
We don't have like these little emojis we can do on the live show, but congrats on that.
Thank you. I decided to work specifically with working parents because it's where I really struggled the most when I became a parent myself.
Hmm.
I met a whole new world of priorities and fears and overwhelmed that I had not dealt with before. So sure, I moved to the States without speaking the language, but it was just me at that time. And meeting a tiny little human in front of you that you're not now responsible for presented a whole new set of challenges and goals, priorities, mostly fears, honestly. So that's when I really dove deep into personal development
Hmm.
and parenting classes. And most of them I started with the fact that you had to unpack your own bag, you had to take care of yourself first to better show up for your kids. And I was just like, all right, this is awesome. And so I found myself just pretty much going back to school because I was fascinated by the topic, by the information, and by the benefits that I was witnessing in my own life with my own kids. So I had one um, back to back because I had my first one after years of trying to get pregnant. Then we had the second one right away, which was a huge surprise. Yes, it was a huge surprise. So, but it came with even more overwhelmed of like, oh my gosh, I'm barely trying to figure the first one out, and now I have a second one coming. So all of that combination is what led me to become a life coach because I was really loving it, and I started sharing what I was learning on these classes with friends that I knew were parents, like just what do you think about this, or this is what I learned today, what are your thoughts. So I especially like I started working with specific parents because we struggle with something that we can only understand when we're parents. Like I would love to say that I am empathetic to the whole world, but parents, we have a whole new definition for sleep, and you won't get it until
Right?
so I
Those
think.
early days are just crazy, crazy
Right.
for,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like I can tell my friends that have no kids about the fact that I'm surviving on a liter of coffee, and they won't really get what I'm trying to say. So I decided to help working parents, but the parents that really still want to strive in their own personal life, that are not necessarily want to get stuck on survival mode, which is a lot of the time what happens to many of us that are trying to do all the things, still be a mom, still be a wife, still be a friend, still be the whole thing. And then you forget about yourself. You put yourself last. And next thing you know, you're just, you know, stuck in this survival mode that is not necessarily the greatest. And everybody around you feels it. They
Yeah.
might not say it, but they feel it.
Well, yeah, it can be overwhelmed, right? So today, and you guys, I just want to remind you that this is an interactive live show. So please, if you have a question for Thelma or for me, please drop it in the comments. I just copied and pasted. If you're on Facebook, you have to allow Restream to show your name so that we can address you directly through the live show. And so if you're joining us, I see that there's somebody in the modern sales professional. Go ahead and drop a hello so we can welcome you and give you a shout out on the show. And my trash guy is outside. So if you hear some crazy noise, it's my trash person. But today we're going to talk about time management. So I'm going to go ahead. Dama has created some slides just to keep us on track. If you guys want copies of these slides, let me know and I'll send them out to you. But I'm going to share the screen and talk to us a little bit about goal setting.
So we decided to speak about goal setting because we have, well, the holidays are coming, and a lot of people want to start the year strong. They want to go for it, and I am all about having a goal that you want to achieve, even if it's in a monthly basis. But I just want to make sure that we clarify what a goal means, so we don't set anybody up for failure, because that can be overwhelming, that can be frustrating, and that's the least that we could want to do. So what I mean by goal setting is, as we know, it's a dream with a deadline. I know Catherine, I wrote an awesome article about it and even said that as well. So I'm glad that we are on the same page. But a dream can be as big as you want it to be, but a goal you want to divide into tiny little steps that you can achieve little by little. And that's why I said a sprinkle by time management and accountability, because that's what I have seen. It has served me the most on getting step by step
Okay.
towards my dream. So the goal
Yes.
setting is like one big idea that you wanna decide on. You don't have to be a runner to decide that you want to run a half marathon. It's just making that choice. So that, if you want to move to the next slide, I
Yes.
will walk you through a few of like the overall idea behind the goal setting that I think is super important. And always I'm open to comments or questions, please. Like you said, it's interactive. But
Please.
yes, I think that the first step is definitely deciding what is the goal and is it really happening. So let's say that you're not a runner, but you really want to run a half marathon. Why? Why is it that you really want to run a half marathon? You want to just prove yourself, you want to accomplish it, you want to become a runner. Why is it important to you? Because that why is what is gonna really help you train for it. Get up in the morning. Remember that this the motivation that you had towards these, like, it's going to be the driver when you're not necessarily feeling down, or when you're exhausted, or when you're sore, or when you're feeling like you might be failing. You have to remember the wine to get back up and try and go for it.
Yeah, it's really thinking that one step farther, right? Not
Mhm.
just, I need a goal. Maybe I want to lose weight. Well, why do you want to lose weight? There's a bigger reason than just the action of getting in shape or losing weight, to be healthier. So you can be here longer. Oh, why do you want to be here longer? Because I have kids. Now we're really getting to that why, right? So digging deep
Exactly.
to find the next step as to what it is. So that, yes. And I can make a note here while you're talking. So it's really finding the why of the goal, to
Yeah.
help keep you driven.
Yes, to help keeping you driven, and because you're gonna need that reminder when you're not really feeling up to it. Because I know, like, maybe losing weight is such a cliche goal. A lot of people have it, but once you really get to the why, then it's really not that cliche. Then it really is specific to your life, to your life story, to your life experiences, and that's what you really want to connect to keep to stay driven. So then, um, write it down. I also, a lot of people talk about the visualization of your dream, writing it down, journaling it, whatever form of communication that works for you. Do that, but not only do like the dream of like PG-13 and everything's roses and it's great. No, I want you to really write it down, the specific why is this important to you, and what is it going to look like. How are you going to feel when you accomplish that goal? How are you going to feel when you wake up in the morning and you're healthier and you're like full of more energy? And how is it gonna feel when you get up even though you didn't want to? I want you to really go through the whole process, the good and the bad, the work and the accomplishment, not just the accomplishment, not just the fun, because in order to accomplish any goal, you have to put in the work. So you have to visualize it too. And that's why you have to go back to the why, as of like, why is this worth it? Why is this going to make your calendar?
Yeah. And we're talking about running. I remember, I did for the New York Marathon one time, and your why and the result of accomplishing that goal will carry, if it's big enough, it will carry through. I'm 15 years later. As a matter of fact, I still have my medal right here. You could see on my wall, right? My New York Marathon medal. And then when I relive crossing that finish line, like a lot of Tony Robbins or a self-help person talks about, relive some of those moments that you worked for so hard. It took a lot of running, and I lived in Arizona. I was running at 9 o'clock at night with a headlamp so that it was under 100 degrees, right?
That's
But
me.
crossing that finish line is like, Oh my gosh. Like nobody can take that away from you. So make sure, you guys, that your goals are big enough so that when you relive them and you think about the work, it's worth it. It wasn't just a simple thing that is no big deal. Like really set some big goals.
And also that excitement that you're saying about relieving it, that excitement is going to teach you how much you have in yourself to get to the next goal. So you can start with something manageable, because what you want to show yourself is the fact that you are making a decision and sticking to it, and you're being true to yourself, and you're working towards whatever you set your mind to. That on its own is going to start unleashing up your potential in your brain, which is going to be translated and affecting all areas of your life. So yes, right now our example is about running, but even when you're training for a running, you are compromising to your schedule. You have to make the time, like she said, 9 a.m. at 9 p.m. with a headlamp. You have to account for all those training things, and that shows the courage and the grit and the resilience that you have towards something. So that's why it's super important to know your why, to understand what your goal is, why is it happening, and what is it going to mean to you going forward. So the next thing that I recommend is to communicate it, because many of us are so afraid of saying, oh my gosh, I have this big dream, I want to write a book. Like, we're afraid of the judgment, we're afraid of the comments, we are afraid of they're going to laugh at you, they're going to think that you're being silly. Maybe choose your audience. If you have the friends that are going to be making fun of you, don't necessarily go to those, but go to somebody that can not necessarily say yes, you got it, like not necessarily a cheerleader, but somebody that can also tell you, you said you were going to do this, how is it going?
Yes, right? That accountability is so important, so important. Or a partner that's going to go through it with you. And that's
Hmm.
why this whole online coaching world of challenges, right, are so popular right now, because you're bringing a group of people together. You are all agreeing on a goal that you want, and you're doing it together and moving through it. So I 100% agree with that. Find somebody that's going to cheer you on you, and help you get through that
Yeah,
your
that can cheer you on. That can also remind you, like you said, you were gonna do this. I know it's hard, but you said it, and we can do this together. Or yes, that's why the online community, you can find like-minded people that are
Mhm.
gonna tell you, like, I know it's so hard. I am so sore. I am so tired, and they're gonna share the same type of pains and frustrations that you might be feeling. But they're also gonna also share the fact that we're gonna do this together. We're gonna get there, and so that accountability is huge. Like a partner is always, if you can have somebody in your household or immediate lifeline that can help you out, is always awesome, because they're always a call or a text away, or like even a pat in the back. It's like, all right,
Now
it's time.
let's do the opposite, because you're coaching people through these life situations. What if
Mhm.
somebody wants to set a goal, but maybe someone very close to them, like a partner, is against it or isn't their biggest cheerleader? Do you have any tips for how to overcome how that person might interact with you and not be a supporter?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually see that very often, because and my first advice for that is to understand without judgment that we are all our unique person. So my vision is for me to see and to understand, but it's nobody else's responsibility or job to actually see it and understand it at your level. That's why it's your vision. That's why it's your goal. That's why it's in you, and you are gonna see it clearly, and you're gonna make it happen, because you can actually rephrase it and make the little steps that it takes. But another person that, even if it lives with you, is a completely different human. It might be made out of completely different responses, and they might want to stay safe. They, most of the time, the reason that they push back or show resistance is because they're actually trying to protect you, which
Oh,
is
that's good to remember, right? That
yeah,
helps with framing it. Instead
yeah.
of being defensive, it puts you in a more understanding stance.
Yeah, so never assume. I definitely encourage you to have the conversation as, like, please help me understand why is it that you feel this way, and maybe I can help you just understand not the actual goal, but why it's important to me. Because if you don't want to support the goal, all I'm asking is to respect the goal, but to support me,
Mhm.
because you're still my partner. partner. So you don't always have to see eye to eye or agree, but you always have to have that open communication of like, this is why this is important to me. And a lot of people don't have that conversation. They just expect it. They expect that you're like, oh, you don't get it. Look, well, have you taken the time to understand why they should be getting? Like, what is it that is actually happening? So yes, I definitely agree. Don't be defensive. Don't take it personal. A lot of the times it's out of love. It's their form of protection that they are trying to do. And just remember that your vision is just for yourself to understand and view. You don't like, just like nobody can make you happy, nobody can really see your vision. But it's nice to have open communication to ask for the support.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Okay, so now we're on break your goal down.
Oh, yes. So, yes, let's say that, go back to the example of the half marathon. You definitely need training, write a book, you definitely need to break it into tiny little steps that are going to be more manageable, because one big goal can be hard to, how do you eat an elephant, right? That you have to break it down into tiny little steps that feel less overwhelming, that can actually be breaking into maybe months, depending on the goal, into weeks, into days, into hours. So that's my next step, to put it like higher and then break it down into tiny steps that you can slowly like attack one by one, so you don't feel extremely overwhelmed. So the schedule time for your next time, for your first step, is what a lot of people forget about. So they have this great intention and they say they're gonna run and they're gonna write a book, but you actually have to time block in your calendar time for just that, without distractions. Because then life happens. Then your kids need you, your friends, a family friend, your work, all the things that
You
normally.
let them in, right? If you don't have it time blocked and honor it, like you have to
Right.
honor it. It's one thing to write it down, but you really need to honor that time. Yes.
It goes back to speaking, like sticking to what you're saying. So if you're saying that you're gonna do something, stick to it and start respecting your word, as if it was your boss telling you that you had to get it done, or if it was a friend. Normally we go above and beyond for a good friend or a partner. You have to treat this equally, the same level of importance.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So yeah. The next step is to stay consistent. Like I just mentioned, life happens, and when it does, it's all right. Don't judge it. Don't feel bad. Don't punish yourself. Don't start on the negative self-talk. I was like, I knew this was dumb, I couldn't do it. Like, none of that. Just say, I'm off track. There's always tomorrow. I'm gonna do it. And maybe noon doesn't work. Maybe I try to do this whole writing or running at noon, but it's not working because I'm hungry. I'm not concentrated. I can't think. I'm gonna try it at 9 now. Then I just pivot and change it and adopt. But stay consistent. Do not give up, because this goes back to, it is super important for you to keep your worth to yourself. If you said it to yourself, you have to do it for
And
yourself.
one of the words that I learned, I think in maybe 2020, I don't even know what year we're in now. It's just one big pandemic, right? 2020, I believe, was I kind of established the mantra of grace, like to stop beating myself up over things. I mean, there is, I would say, you could go as far as to say you can give yourself too much grace. Maybe, I'm not sure. Like you just didn't do it. Like, what's the point of setting a goal? I'm just going to forgive myself, right? But just saying it's okay. Like tomorrow's a new day, and tomorrow I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to get up and do it. Like what it, and just tying it back to that why. Like, why am I doing this in the first place? Like, what's the definition of insanity? If I'm going to wake up again and make excuses and not do it, then there's not even a point. Like, you have to hold your feet to the fire. You have to be driven to have that self improvement. I mean, would you agree with those things? You have any other tips for
No,
that?
I completely agree. I feel like you call it grace. I personally call it compassion. I know that
Okay.
I work on accountability. So, yes, I am the person that tells you, you said, right? But there's a way of going about it. You don't have to punish yourself to hold yourself accountable. You can still have the compassion for yourself, the grace to understand that we all have bad days, and it's all right. But you have to also honor the moment, honor the
Hmm.
fact that today my body is honestly just asking for sleep, and I want, and there's also like some a beauty to listening to your own body, to knowing that you're in tune with your feelings, and knowing that this is, I can't do it today, and it's all right. But then there's always tomorrow, and that's exactly what Catherine and I are completely saying. You
Yes.
said you go back to it, no excuses, no overthinking, because you what I recommend doing in those times is not asking yourself what's the worst that can happen, like, oh, I already failed. None of that. Just say, what is it gonna happen if I don't do anything about it? Like, where am I gonna end up? You're gonna end up exactly where you started at.
Hmm.
There's no change being made, so there's no progress. So there's nothing that you are really necessarily grabbing onto or learning. But those hard times in which you don't feel like doing it, but you still get up and do it, you will remember those. And those are gonna show you that you're a lot more resilient than you think you are.
And I've been listening to the book, which is The Confidence Code. I don't know if you've heard of that, but in that book, it talks about scientific evidence that shows that you can change habits and you can change behaviors by rewiring your brain, by
Hmm.
continuing to do those things that might be uncomfortable, right? Because you might have some sort of a negative belief system or a self limiting belief that happened as a result of something way back when you were a child. But if you recreate the scene or you recreate a new belief to overcome that negative self belief, you can replace it. It's throw away the belief, you guys, that you can't teach an old dog a new trick, because you can totally rewire your brain by rethinking and reframing and retraining and putting one step in front of the other and just continuing on with positivity. You don't have to live in those old dreams. Not, no, we're giving you permission not to today, as a
No.
matter of fact.
And it's so funny because once you start feeling them, you can actually take a minute to understand them and be like, oh, I don't even know where I got this from. This is not even my belief. I probably adopted it from my family, from the culture, from the society that is expecting this from me, but it's not necessarily serving me. So just let it go. It's no longer serving you. And the new ones are going to serve you because you already have a why, you already have a goal, and you're going towards it. And by not trying it, you will never know how far you can get. But if you try it, then you're already succeeding because you're already submitting yourself into something new that is teaching your brain, oh, I can learn new things.
And don't forget, you guys, I know there's people joining us. Comment if you are going to set a goal, if we're going to help you set a goal today, put it in the comments, because you know me, I'll keep you accountable to it. I know you have another team player right here to help you,
Yes,
to help
yes,
keep you accountable to those goals, whatever it might be, big or small. Start somewhere,
yeah.
stay consistent. We're now we're talking about that, the stay consistent, um, over and over and over and over in the time blocking. Your next one is, let's talk about that. Don't give up.
I think we honestly just covered it by saying have grace, have compassion, don't give
Okay.
up, stay accountable to yourself. If you decided that you want to do this, you need to fully understand the importance of making that decision to stick to it, because that promise to yourself, the moment that you can keep a promise to yourself, you're going to start feeling a lot more confident, because it's something like it really connects your brain into demonstrating that you are capable of these things, and then you start believing more in yourself without even noticing. So yeah, you might start by creating a habit that you have to attach to a habit that you already have, to realize where you're at, and you can slowly, sneakily, like transformation thing takes time. So don't think that just because you pick a goal, you're gonna be like, okay, give me 3 months, I'll run a half marathon. Like, it takes time, it takes training, it takes consistency, it takes mindset. Mindset work a lot of the time is mind over body. Like a lot of people that work out, you might run, you might do all, even if you're coding, most of the time is mind over body. So mindset is a lot more important, and that promise to yourself is like the highway to your to brain to rewire it.
Yes, for sure. Okay, now celebration. I'm so good at celebrating.
Me too. I mean, why not? If I want to pick a goal, it's because I definitely want a prize. And don't underestimate the power of celebrating. Honestly, don't underestimate it. You have no idea how good it is for your body to realize that you are accomplishing good things. Now, I'm not going for perfection. Please don't set yourself up for failure. Nobody's perfect. Um, Progress. Notice the little things that are changing in you. Notice if you're like waking up earlier, but because you're feeling more energized. Notice how you're feeling about the task that you're doing. Not like notice the little things and honor them, because even if it's like a little, I am a huge fan of like happy dancing, just because it's easy, it's
I
free,
do
and
too.
it
I do too.
energizes
It's
me.
I have a money dance.
There you go.
I go, even if I find a penny on the ground, I pick it up. I kind of look around. I don't know, maybe now I'm getting better. I don't care who watches me, but I wave it in the air and I do a money dance. I'm like, who cares? Money dance. Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely having like the happy dance, and I would definitely have happy dance for all whoever is willing to set up a goal and go for it. And yeah, definitely connect. I'm more than happy to help assist on keeping you accountable, because it's this is what I live for. People
Yes, me
noticing their
too.
own potential. It's
Hmm.
like it's so fun and it's so amazing, and it's a community of like of that I want to be part of. I want to people have people that no that are not afraid of saying, "Oh my gosh, I did this, and it was so hard, but I did it." So yeah, don't underestimate the celebration. I'm glad that yours.
Celebrate. Oh, you guys, and some people some people wait and they only give themselves a reward once they reach their goal. I'm sorry, I just celebrate the whole time. I just celebrate the whole time and I try to live my life like it's one big vacation. So that's just the way I live though. It's just the way I live.
Yeah, and
So,
it actually allows you to like really enjoy the journey that much more. So before, like a goal is just it's gonna become a milestone, and then you're gonna pick another one, and this is a
mhm.
lifestyle that you are gonna jump into, which includes the celebration part of it, and noticing all the good things, because I mean, gratitude can take you a lot farther than negativity would.
Absolutely. And I usually say I'm a deal junkie because I like the next deal. Like, what's the next deal? What's the next deal? But you could actually say I'm a goal junkie
Yeah.
because it is those highs that I live for. It's the high of seeing you successful, right? It's the high of seeing my kids successful. It's the high of seeing the people that I mentor, that I coach, just those small successes. I always say that when you string together enough small successes that you celebrate, those are the stepping stones to your true success, right? So if you string them all together and it's the momentum that's propelling you forward, you can get sidetracked at once in a while. I love this. Step one, you will propel you to step two on your journey to achieving your goal. All of those things. You guys already know all this. Goal setting is not new. Goal setting is something we talk about, but it's actually taking action that makes the difference. It's setting it
Mhm.
and taking action and choosing somebody to hold you accountable. I have an accountability group, and we hold ourselves accountable every week, and we call each other out, and we keep moving them forward. And it's a really great opportunity to work with someone. So if you guys need an accountability group, throw together some people that want to hold you accountable. Meet weekly. Show up. I show up every week. Every week I show up, whether it's a good day or a bad day. I slept, I didn't sleep. I want to cry, I want to celebrate. I show up every day, to be accountable to not just myself, but to the people that I'm accountable to. So that, find people who have that drive and surround yourself with them. And they'll pull you when you don't want to be pulled. And then you can push when you have your energy to push,
Mhm.
for sure. Let's see.
Absolutely.
So, what is our few things to remember?
Oh, these are just like a few traps that I feel like are just quick reminders, because we're moving into the action. So you already set up your goal. You already understand the minimum requirement of like why is the why important, all the things. These are a few traps for you to not fall into. So yes, we the holiday up on us. Pick a goal that is realistic and measurable for you, because I know right now life is madness, all the holidays, all the family get-togethers, all the things. So picking something measurable and account and holding yourself accountable is going to create the momentum to start 2000 well 22 with a feeling of achievement. So you like December, this is a great time to have this conversation, because you have the whole month to set this momentum up to where in January you're already like hyped up.
Yes.
You
Don't wait, you guys. Don't
right.
wait.
Right now, you might be feeling like you need a little push. For like Catherine and I are here, more than happy to help you with that. But in January, this momentum is going to help you to be like to already be like in the move towards that goal. So
Yeah. And I want to remind you guys one thing, which was a bad habit I had, was that I was setting I was measuring my success to somebody else's yardstick. I was measuring the success of myself to the bank account that was representative of the product I was selling, right? My abilities. I could be the best salesperson in the world, but if I'm selling a shitty product or if I'm selling a commoditized product that really isn't good in the market, that's not a true reflection on me. That might be a reflection on my choice to work for that company. Make sure that the goals that you are setting are dependent on your own abilities to reach those goals, not necessarily giving your self worth to somebody else, whether they're going to make an action that will help you reach your goal. So remember that, because you can fall flat on a goal if the success is dependent on somebody else's abilities or somebody else's movement forward. That's
Yeah.
just a tip. That's a wisdom tip
It's
for you.
an awesome reminder. It's like not, yeah, and also remember to just compete with yourself. So you have to just be do a little bit better than what you did yesterday. Not don't measure yourself. Don't compare yourself day one to somebody else's day 10. Like you
Hmm.
can't do that. I mean you can, but it's gonna hurt and it's not gonna serve you. So if you are one of if you get caught on that, just realize it. Re- Remember, I was like, oh, I'm on my day one, and just go back to your day one, and applaud them, but happy dance for them that they're on their day 10. But you compete just with yourself and your own progress. So
Absolutely.
yeah, multitasking. Oh my gosh. Okay, this
Oh,
is, I really wanted to add this because in the holidays we always want to do all the things, right? All of the things. So multitasking is so popular. It was also almost encouraged for a while in the
hmm.
society, which is still like a hot topic. So this is why I wanted to add it. Many people still think that being productive means being able to multitask, be able to manage three different things at the same time. Unfortunately, that's not how the brain actually works. If you want to learn and really master one thing, you will have to do a single task in a small chunks of time because that's all your brain is capable of doing. You might feel like you're doing these things at the same time, but your brain is dividing in chunks of 6 seconds per task. So n- you're not completing neither one at your best capacity because you're splitting your energy, your mindset, and your brain into these. So please, again, multitasking is inviting. It is very tempting. And I know that we like with all the shiny things and all the Instagram and all the posts and all the social media and all the music, you want to try to do it, but your brain has been the same one and it's going to function the exact same way for the rest of your life. And you can, in order to master one thing, you have to concentrate on one thing.
Yes. And one thing you can do for yourself, right, is if you have that one thing and you can't do it and you can't do it and you can't do it, make sure that one thing is the highest and best use of your time and your ability. Because it could be that you're trying to do something that you could outsource to someone else. And we're talking just about business goals and things right now. So if you keep falling back on those things that are your comfort zone and you're not doing the hard things like sales, making sales calls, doing revenue generating activities, you should outsource the things that someone else can do and just stay in your zone of genius and do those things that you can do, right? And you got to set a 30-minute timer and just do that hard stuff for just 30 minutes and then get out of it. Make yourself focus on that hard thing first and then get out of it if it's really that hard to stay focused for you. Yes, I'm a really good sweeper. When I don't want to do something, my floors, I always talk about that. My floors get really clean and my windows, my mirrors get clean. And then I'm like, oh, I still haven't done it. I still haven't done it. So yes, I'm a really good procrastinator. Don't invite me over to do your floors though, people. That's not an invitation. Okay, time block.
Okay, so this one's also another reminder. So these are my time management tips because a lot of people think that I was like, oh yeah, I time block an hour for myself. Exactly for what? If you're not being specific about what is going to happen in that hour, then you're wasting that hour because before you know it, you're checking Instagram, sweeping your floors, cleaning your counters, folding the clothes that could have totally waited. None of it necessarily has to be done at this time. So Time block without a specificity is a waste of time. If you're going to time block an hour, just make sure that you know exactly what you're going to accomplish in that hour. You might find that because you're so concentrated into that single task, you will get it done in 30 minutes. Or you might find that at 45 that you're like, oh my gosh, this is exhausting, I don't get it, I might need to outsource it. Now you at least moving forward, just because you know you accomplished it, or you know that you're going to need help, and the next time you time block it, you can either do it with a friend or you decide to outsource it. So yes, please.
Yes, for sure. And I also want to encourage you guys, these are baby steps. So if you just first need to make that habit of time blocking, then let's just get that habit done of time blocking right now. But the other thing to remember that's so good about time blocking is that if you're a master to-do list maker, hello, I have a book of to-do lists. Take those to-do lists and time block that to-do list in the time block, because I'm one of those overambitious people where I can have 50 to-do lists, 50 things on my to-do list, and I start putting them into how long I think it's going to take, and it's like 5 times the time usually, and I don't get them done, or I drag them to the next day and I'm like, oh, I don't want to look at that again, right? So make sure that you're realistic about the amount of time it's going to take. Let's say I'm a big time blocker on writing. But what am I going to write? Am I working on my book? Am I working on social media? Am I working on email marketing? Am I working on social media content? Am I writing for a client? Am I writing a landing page? Like, when you're thinking about your whole big giant strategy of what needs to be done and all the little things that need to be done, then you could take those little to-do lists and put them in your time block of writing. If you're going to do sales calls, am I going to do social selling? Am I going to do text selling? Am I going to do email marketing? Am I going to do phone calls? Like, what kind of sales am I going to do in that time block of sales? So totally agree. And I could totally get better at that, because I do this big time blocking thing where I do writing and then I look at it and I'm like, like
Like
it
you
seems
said though,
so big.
it's baby steps. If you have never time blocked before, I really recommend we just start with only 10 minutes, because your attention span is not necessarily used to that. So like at 10 minutes, you're gonna feel like, all right, I'm ready for something else. And it might be your body just getting used to it. So yeah,
Mhm.
ease yourself into it. But remember that, be specific about in those 10 minutes, maybe you just want to transition from your office into your house and just want to have a dance to yourself, moment of quiet meditation, whatever is going to work for you to transition, but do it and be true to the time that is actually taking, because a lot of people also love to time block 2 hours when in reality they know that the task only takes 30 minutes. So if it's your
Oh.
first time, always calculate for more time. If you already have an idea of how long it's going to take, then definitely be more accurate.
Okay, accountability. We talked a little bit about that. But so tell us a little bit about, I mean, I just gave my suggestion, but what are some ways that you have to find an accountability partner or accountability group? Do you have any extra tips or systems to find accountability?
Systems to find accountability. I let's For the people that don't have a supportive partner, I think that you should really definitely start with finding a friend or somebody that is close in your circle. So the first step is for you to be outspoken about what you want to be accountable for and why it's important. So again, the goal and the why come in one sentence. Don't
Hmm.
just say, "Oh, I want to run a half marathon." Why? Because a lot of people that want to support you will connect a lot more to the why than the actual goal. So that's tip number one. Uh, Learn to hold yourself accountable. So if you don't have it, let's say that you are just not necessarily a social media person, you don't want to get into all these people, you're an introvert, you don't want to meet anybody, totally okay. Set an alarm for yourself in 5 days to check with yourself exactly where you are, how are you feeling about this, and what are the next steps that you're going to take. Now, I'm definitely a community builder. I love having somebody holding me accountable because it fires me up personally. So if you're into that, reach out with your friends. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to Catherine. She has you can literally Google accountability groups, and you can find whatever you want to feel accountable on. So depending on if it's running, writing, you might find a specific Facebook group that you might want to join, or you can always reach out and we have a community that can help you support it.
Yeah, and if you guys are out, if you're a woman, I always talk about belonging to Hera Hub. We have accountability groups within Hera Hub. We have live working accountability sessions where we just open our Zoom and we sit together and we talk to each other about what it is that we're going to work on for the day. Like, let's say we have a writing accountability group and we get together, it's for a 2 hour time block or an hour time block. We state what we're going to write, and then we check in with each other every hour. How are we moving? And then somebody might go, "Oh, I got sidetracked and I did this." And everybody just looks at them like, you know. So yes, find something. If you need help, reach out to one of us. We can certainly help you, because the goal is for everyone to be successful in the best version of themselves. So you're talking to two women here that are in your corner and here to support you to do that. So
Absolutely.
I love it that we still have people joining us. Thank you so much. We have somebody on Twitch. I'm shouting out to you. Hello. Okay. This is a close from you.
Oh, yeah, this is my close. So just honestly wishing you lots of success in discovering your potential by taking this challenge head on. So just pick one tiny goal, one big goal, but just be reasonable with the time. So, and if you have never done it and you want to ask, like, how long does it really take to train for a half marathon? How long would it really take me to write a book? Everything is going to depend on your season of life, on your time commitment, on all the things. So don't think that is like one recipe fits all. Not at all, but that's why Catherine or I can help you on coming up with the steps that are going to help you to actually make the goal happen. But don't feel like because it's hard is not doable, like, because that's not how it works. Everything's doable, but you just have to split it into small tiny steps to where you can do one at a time.
Oh, yes, we did have somebody. I'm sorry, we had somebody making comments. Thank you so much for doing that. When the screen was split, I couldn't see your comments, but thank you guys for doing that, and making comments.
Yeah.
On the, I've had some funny comments before these. I'm not going to share either, but thank you so much. This is we have this person on Twitch. So thank you, Sam 4P, for showing up, making comments, and engaging with us. I appreciate that so much. So I don't know what that is. So let's get going. All right. So tell us, we can find you on your website. So I have that in the show notes,
Yeah.
but I will put it here. And pronounce your name.
So my name is Telma Sanchez, no H. So I am definitely bilingual, and my website is bilingual as well. So you can click on English or Spanish. A lot of the things that I've been doing lately are in English, but I do also have. You can, if you want to see like the background of my life, that my everyday, my they all the things. I'm definitely mostly engaged on Instagram, and that is my first name, Telma SMV, with like B, little bit.
V, victory.
Yes, because I
V
have
and
an
B.
accent, I have to
I
clarify.
know, it's
You
the
never
whole
know.
thing. It's so funny. I strive so hard to be bilingual. My family lives in Mexico, and my brothers and sisters don't speak English. So you'd think that I spoke more Spanish. I try hard, but yeah, the V's and the B's, the R's and the R's. It's I get you. I get you, and I feel
I
you.
get lost in translation very often, which is why I just decided to like use my hands as much as I could to help.
I was just in Paris, and I find that when I try to speak, when I not try, when I speak French, people speak
Mhm.
back to me in English. I'm like, give me a break. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard. Same thing is happening in Mexico now, because so many people are bilingual.
I'm bilingual.
I'll
I
speak
know.
Spanish and they speak back in English, or they'll say you have such a cute accent. I'm like, I don't have an accent. That's the
So
whole
it's
problem.
I actually do have clients in Mexico. Well, they choose for me to speak English because they want to practice it, and if they get stuck with a word, then I can help them.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's interesting how English is definitely just like
It's
the go-to now.
Yes, it is all around the world, all around the world.
When I
Well,
went to Paris
yeah.
and I was speaking French because I spoke it during college for my part of my Spanish degree, people would reply to me in Spanish. So I was like, I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing or.
As long as they're engaging and they're communicating, I think people appreciate that you speak their language, right? No matter what it
Mhm.
is. And everybody wants to speak English. I want to speak French. I want to speak Spanish. I'd love
Yeah.
to speak a little Italian too. I don't know. It's a little, but life is too short for me. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap the show. I thank you so much for staying with us, for being here, for commenting, for being live, for wanting to improve yourself, for wanting to improve your goals. You guys, 2022 is the year. It is the year. My mantra for this year is big girl money. That is my hashtag that I'm going to use. I am tired of the same. I mean, let's do something life changing. It's not enough to just get up and do it. We're saying just do a little bit better. Let's shoot for the moon, you guys. Life is too short. Get up, get inspired, get fired up about something. Just something. Make a difference in this world, make a difference in your life, make a difference in the life of others. It's Life is just too short. It's a big, beautiful place out there. Go experience life, set goals, shatter glass ceilings, shatter records. This is it. 2022 is it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it together. My guests are going to help you, and I'm going to cheer you on all the way. And so it's my little friend Frida. She's so cute. This is Frida Kahlo down in the corner. Isn't she cute? She's a llama corn. That's a whole nother story. We're totally so off topic. But that's my little girlfriend Frida. So thanks, you guys, for joining the Art of Inspired Selling. We have so much fun on the show. It's all about delivering value to you as the guest, as the audience. We want to be here. We want to supply information to you. So if there's anything we're not doing that you need, message me. I'll bring it to the show. My 2022 content calendar and marketing strategy is already in place. We're going to have some wonderful things coming up. Every month is already signed up. So I'm celebrating that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Thelma, for being here. I hope we can get together in Arizona when I'm there. Stay on the show. I'm wrapping it, you guys. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode of The Art of Inspired Selling. And I'm going to drop the show notes for my new LinkedIn Sales Navigator group training where I'm taking 15 people. So I'll drop the application so that you guys can apply to be in that group. Thanks, you guys. Take care.